Are you on the chapter anyway?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what to do for the intro, frick. It's like the first video we did. I'm just gonna read with my glasses off, I guess. I guess we're doing another X reader. This one's Underfell Sans X scared reader. Who's the jerk now? I guess you'll read the reader.
Yeah.
Just the reader, what they're saying, I guess. Since it ain't that long.
I need to know Papyrus, but...
Here you are doing Papyrus. Oh crap, I'm gonna have to yell. Frick. Yeah, I've read this one. Okay. So you start off, I guess.
Okay. Blah, blah.
Hurry up.
Frick.
Oh my god. Hurry up. Crap, I just knocked my top over again.
Oh, I kicked my dog. Oh no. Puppers, no.
Oh my god. This is just not our day.
Nope.
Okay, before I knock this mofo up over again, I'm gonna just set it up here. Okay, it's your turn to start. Hurry up.
I'm trying. My brain won't work.
Oh boy.
Frick, this is gonna take a long time.
I only got a half hour. Come on.
I'm trying, hold on.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
It keeps glitching out too, so it's awesome.
I'm so sorry. So sorry, Sans. I didn't know that was yours.
I stuttered rapidly as I started to shake in fear. You honestly fucking think it wasn't mine? Of course it was! Sans was yelling at my face over spilled mustard. All I ever did was accidentally bump into Sans as he was drinking his mustard, and out of nowhere, he lost his grip and his mustard just spilled right there in the snow. From an angle, it looked like a pea stain. I gently moved snow over the stain so it didn't look like an awkward accident.
Please forgive me, Sans. I didn't know. I really didn't. But it's okay, right? Can't I get you another one?
I had the habit of stuttering and I couldn't help myself, even if I was calm. I never really had the strength to not stutter. Sans rolls his eyes, clenching his fists and throwing a fit. Buying another one. Buy another one. I always had to buy another one. Another condiment bottle of mustard because of your clumsy ass. Well, you buy it, but that's besides the point that you are a klutz and I have no idea where you're going. What kind of pet do I have to handle that can't even move around properly? Sans face palmed and groaned with his arms crossed. I felt like I was going to explode. I started to grow a waterfall of tears, and the more I began to cry, the more that the waterfall was going to turn into an ocean. I had no choice but to just run and to try avoiding Sans. I quickly turned around, marched out of the front door in Sans and Papyrus' place, and ran as far as I could down the snowy path. Sans bursts out the front door and stands in the middle of the path, watching as I ran away, crying. I heard Sans calling my name, clawing. I said clawing. I hate myself. Calling my name, but I ignored everything around me and kept running. I kept running until I made it to the waterfall. I quickly ran along the soaking water underneath me and I looked to my left where it seemed to be the place I would hide. I quickly made cover and ran through the rushing water. I quickly walked to the wall, turned my back against it and sat down. continuing to cry my eyes out. I covered my face with my hands and wept for a while. I couldn't believe I just accidentally bumped into Sans as he was drinking mustard. I was in huge trouble, and I made it worse by running away. It's all my fault. Why did I even bother falling down here in the first place? I couldn't believe myself. But then I heard footsteps. Gathering my voice back. I braced for Sans to yell and hurt me as I stared at the water along the outside of the cave washing down. The footsteps slowed down and I saw Sans' shadow. He slowly peeked in through the waterfall, but he had the opposite expression that I was expecting. He actually looked kind of ashamed of himself. Then I need water. Not water, but pop. Frick. You're just casually over there listening like, what the heck? Okay, that's actually the perfect tone I need for Sans anyway, so. Where was I at? Okay, maybe he's finally come to the conclusion that I had fear of him yelling and getting mad at me all the time just because I couldn't do things right. Sans walked on through the waterfall, hands in pocket, and only just a sad expression. He stared at me and then rubbed the back of his skull. I stared, tears still running down my cheeks. Hey, I just came to say that I'm sorry. I was such a dumbass. I knew that you would run away because of the way I yelled at you, and I didn't know what to do. Could you, forgive me? Gah! I'm terrible at apologizing. Look, pet, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Happy? I looked at him more and wiped my tears away. I slowly and with allegiance grew a smile. I stood up, rushed over to him, and hugged him. Sans backed up a bit, unaware of what to do or say. But I knew he would slowly and surely understand. Kid, what the hell? Sigh. Sans let out a long sigh and hugged me back with a pout. I backed away from him, avoiding the hugs. Sans, it's your turn.
Sans, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have run away like that. I was a fool.
No, I was a fool. It was my fault that you ran away, and my fault for yelling at you. I smiled at him and wiped the rest of my tears off, and Sans shyly looks at me and offers a hand. Do you, want to walk back home? Your name? I nervously grinned. He never really calls me by my real name besides Pet. I blushed a bit to the thought and nodded to him. I walked up and held his skeleton hand, and we both rushed up the waterfall, avoiding as much rushing water as possible. And the both of us walked back home. I'm sure that one day, Sans and the others will understand my love and fear for them. One day.
Hey.
Okay, hold on. We can do one more, since this is only like really 10 minutes long. Frick. Go to Scared and Occupied.
Of course, Horrortale. This one's somewhat long.
That's good, because we can make this like a 20-minute video. Ish. So, same thing as last. Ah! Go back up. Scared and Occupied, Horrortale Sans X Reader. Trying to get my laptop to load. Fear, agony, regret. I can't think of anything else. I didn't mean to fall into the underground, and I didn't mean to hurt Toriel's feelings. I hope she is okay. All that I could possibly think of was to just run up and escape this hell, but I regretted it. I'm so sorry, Toriel. I promise you that I will get everyone out of the underground so you guys can have a better life on the surface. If I can get to it. I was trembling in my wretched dress. It was kind of indigo coloring. I had no shoes to keep my trembling feet warm, and I also had messy hair. I held my hands together as I looked around my surroundings, trying to make a better view of the underground as I could. Just looks very depressing. I know, right? But then I looked to my left and saw a humongous figure. It looked like a monster. I can't think of a monster being so gigantic like that. I took as much courage and determination as I could and walked up to the poor, tall monster. This monster was a skeleton, apparently. The skeleton had very damaged but odd-looking teeth in a different form, covered in a blood color. I hope it isn't actually blood. He had a neat costume. Tall red boots, big red gloves, and a red scarf to top it off. He looks down at me with a creepy grin and holds out a bowl of what seems to be spaghetti right in front of me. I stood my ground as I listened to him. What?
Oh, me.
Papyrus, where you at?
Human, you are skin and bones. I insist that you enjoy a taste of my spaghetti.
I didn't know what to do, either to eat it or decline it. I wanted to be nice as possible for the poor skeleton, so I decided to accept his offer. I held the bowl of spaghetti in my right hand, twirled the spaghetti with a fork on my left hand as I was slurping up the spaghetti. It was so indescribable.
Amazing. I've never seen a human that eats this much. So, how does it taste?
Indescribable. I didn't know what to say. I still wanted to be nice, so I said that it was great, and his reaction was joy.
Yeah, how delightful.
Okay, I'm calm. Maybe. But while finishing up the chewing, I caught something in my mouth that I almost jumped from. I placed the fork down in the bowl, swapped hands so that the bowl was on my left hand, and I pulled something very thin from the corner of my mouth with my right hand. I slipped it out slowly and carefully to know what it was. It was a strand of hair. I was too nervous to know what to think about this. I guess humans were down here before. Is it possible that the skeleton killed a human? I hope I don't turn into food. So then the bowl of spaghetti was put away from me, and this tall skeleton was put away, and me and this tall skeleton were standing in the snow by a sign that shows the different directions of the underground.
Yeah, excellent, human. Now that you are pleasantly plump, we can continue with our game. I shall inform Sans of the good news. Quickly, follow me to your immediate capture.
Imminent.
Frick you.
I don't think I want to go with him, in all honesty. I've read this. I know how it turns out. And just like that, the tall skeleton walks off to another direction that I was planning to go next. At least I made a good impression of myself to this tall guy. I felt kind of bad for him in a way. I then decided to follow the tall skeleton as I made my way. But while I was walking by the tall pines on the snow, I see a blurry figure down the path. Some kind of stand or something. I walked closer and I see a skeleton sleeping on the top of the desk. Of course. He was snoring a bit as he slept. Jesus, you were right about this one being long. Oh my god, that's
What?
Yeah, nothing.
What did you do?
Nothing. I was still nervous, but I looked a little closer at him. He was surely fast asleep, but I thought, maybe I should wake him up. I tried to call out, but my voice was just a bit too weak at the moment, just like mine. I thought I would need something louder to wake him up. Speaking of which, the skeleton earlier, he said that he was going to inform someone by the name of Sans. Did he mean this skeleton? I have a strong feeling he did. Seeing that this guy was also a skeleton, maybe a brother. On the very end of the path, I see the tall skeleton already preparing something. But I really think that his brother, Sans, should be awake for this event. I tried to call out, but it was no use. Instead, I tried something else. Excuse me. Even if my body was trembling, oh my god. I give up. I give up. My voice. What? Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Even if my body was trembling, it doesn't mean that there was no strength in it. I walked a bit closer and knock on the top of the stand with my clenched hand. The skeleton immediately woke up by the sound of it, and his right eye socket glowed a bright pinkish red, leaving his other eye socket a dark black. The skeleton stared at me from the corner of his eye socket as I stood there trembling. I kind of tried to make a smile as that I show no harm. The skeleton relaxed a bit, but the orb in his right eye socket stayed red, but not flaring up. He made a very cautious grin at me. It was a huge and terrifying grin. He then leans a bit, resting his head on his left skeleton palm, and tapped on the desk while his right skele fingers. He looked at me like it's as usual. Hey buddy, what's up? Boy, you look frightened. Did you catch a chill? I couldn't be able to respond. I tried my best to be as innocent as I could and happy while as not to be scared. Hey human. Frick, I'm joking myself. Hey human, what's wrong? Are you begging for something? 'Cause you don't look like